Hey y'all, this is Brooke again, and we are going to be reviewing over how to set up your ads campaign. So I want y'all to look at this side right here, and this is your campaign, your ad account, your ad set, and then down here is your ad. So think about Chinese nesting dolls. You know how you have a big one and then inside they shrink and shrink and shrink? Think about it as that. So right now we're working on your objective. Every single time you come to this page, it's going to normally pop up on traffic, because that's the typical one that they try to push you to. We're not going to do that. We are going to do lead generation, because we want to produce leads, of course, right? So we're going to go down here, and we're going to type in whatever you can remember, because exclusive, inventory, list. Alright. Oh, I missed a little O. There we go. And so this is mainly setting you up for basically showing your objective of what you were going to be producing. So right here's your account. It's just notifying you of all this stuff right here. United States, US dollars, currency and time zone, of course. Continue. Now we're in the ad set. So right here with the ad set, we might want to change this name first off. So I'm going to change it back over to the exclusive inventory list. Alright. And then you want to make sure to choose the right page. Now I want this page right here. So I'm going to choose it. That would be, of course, your business page. And now you're going to create your audience that you want. So depending on where you want your ad to go, you're going to drop pins on where it's going to go. So I typically always go for Atlanta because, oh wow, I just typed it wrong. Atlanta, because of the traffic there. Because when there's lots of people in a certain spot, for instance, look at that, potential reach, 3,900,000. I mean, that's pretty big. So it's pretty good to mark spots that you know has lots of people that travel. And why do you ask travel-wise? Because if they're traveling, they might be A, either looking for a new place to live because of a new job, or B, just looking for a summer home. So always include that. I normally typically do a 25-mile radius. Now some of them might bump down to 10. For instance, if you're in the 30A area, they'll do about a 10-mile radius to a 15, depending on what and how many people are in the population at that time. You can do up to about 3 to 4 of these pins. Now you do want to try to keep them closer so the dog isn't running all over, but at most you do want to do at least 3. So right down here, we're going to scroll down, and it says age. We typically do around 28 to 65. Now, the reason why we do that is because, say, an 18-year-old wouldn't want to buy a house immediately. Now, this might be called discrimination, which is why you need to put at the bottom of your content later on, blah, 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 whatever policy your company has on discrimination. Alright. And so we're going to correct all for gender, and then, of course, English. And I always do the all. And now we're going to scroll back up here, and we're going to talk about one little thing. So right here on everyone in this location, I always do people recently in this location, just because typically when they want to buy a house somewhere, they come and visit the place. Alright, so down here we have our targeting. Now the targeting is very, very important for 2 reasons. The first reason is you want to include the people that you want the ad to go to. And second reason is exclude people. So I typically, for the beginning part of this, only do exclude, because this is basically your ad insurance. Think of it as that. This is protecting your ad from people that you don't want them to see. So you can type in real estate because you don't want real estate people to get your ad because they might try stealing your ideas. And then there's a whole other list that you'll see down below, and all you do is copy and paste it in there because each thing that applies to you. Plus, if you think of more or you work for someone, type it in there so they don't see what you're creating. Like I said, it's ad insurance. So we're going to scroll down here. Alright. And so, whenever we are going through different things, we always want to click Save Audience, because then once you save your audience, you're going to title it, and you don't have to remake your audience each time, because we all love our precious time. Alright. Ooh, man, me and spelling today. There we go. I'm just going to call it that, just because I can remember it. Alright, and I'm saving the audience so I could go back later and always use it. Alright, placement, I always go to Edit Placement. We're going to scroll down here. All devices, that's perfectly fine. And now right here, we only want Facebook and feeds to be up. We don't want instant articles, we don't want Instagram. I personally do like Instagram, but for advertisement, they are still a little not up to date on it, so it looks a little sloppy. So we're just going to stick with Facebook and the feed, because that's the two that we need. Alright. Scroll back down all the way down here. Now there is a little box that says only when connected to Wi-Fi. Some people prefer that, but others do not, because here's the thing. Some people do not have Wi-Fi in their homes. They have unlimited data, so they might be using that. So you're almost like shortening yourself in a way, because they're not going to be delivered if they're not connected. Always do all mobile devices, so you're not excluding any type of company. Alright. Down here is the budget and schedule. So I typically start off around $10 a day. It's a pretty good basis, and it gets your dog up and running. Now I keep saying dog. The dog is basically the Facebook ad mover, if you will. Because the dog is going to go search for the people that are wanting to buy a house and that are wanting to get a condo, and whatever you're selling, that's what the dog is going and getting right now for you. So we're going to put in 10 for a daily budget. Alright. And then we are all done right here. So just make sure to look over this part. Depending on whatever you're wanting to do and whatever applies to you, you'll obviously have to change. But for right now, you are all set. Stay tuned for the next lesson.